Welcome to the mathematics class. This class is for class 8. Today we will be discussing chapter 7 in your textbooks, that is percentage. So we will be discussing about the percentage. So what is the meaning of percent? Basically, what is the meaning of percent? Now percent literally means per 100. Per 100 means this is a kind of, we can say it's a kind of parameter that we measure any given quantity on a parameter of 100. Per 100. Suppose I say 10%. 10% means 10 out of 100 or 10 per 100. 7.8% means 7.8 out of 100. Suppose nowadays COVID is going on and they say initially the recovery rate was 27% and now it has changed to 66%. What is the meaning of this? That out of per 100 infected people, 27 are recovering. Yet 27 were recovering initially, but now out of every 100, 66 people are recovering. So there is a growth in recovery. So what is the meaning of percentage? Percentage means per 100, on every 100, what is the change or whatever we want to measure, and when we are measuring it in percentage, it is known as percentage when we take the denominator as 100. Okay. Now let's see what it is there in the, what is more that is there can be considered. Now there are few things that you need to remember. One is percent, then it is fraction, and then it is decimal. Suppose just now we were talking about 10%. 10% can be converted into a fraction. How? We can say 10 upon 100. And 10 upon 100 can be converted to a decimal. It means 0 and 0 will cancel. It will be 0.01. It means percentage, fraction and decimal all are interchangeable. It means if you have been given percentage, you can convert it to fraction or you can convert percentage to decimal and vice versa. Means percentage can be converted to the fraction as well as decimal. At the same time, decimals and fractions can be converted into percentage. So now we will learn how to convert these percentage into fraction, fraction into decimal, decimal into percentage, and so on. Now I am taking these two topics, converting percent into fraction and converting fraction into percentage. How do we convert percent into fraction? That is very easy. Let's take 80%. Now you know percent means 80% means upon 100 or per 100. So you can this can be written as 80 upon 100. Now you can solve them. 0 and 0 cancel. 2 4s are 2 5s. So it can be written as 4 upon 5. Now this has been written as fraction. Percentage into fraction. So what you need to do? Simply write the given percentage with denominator 100. Reduce it to the lowest terms, and whatever comes is your fraction or it is the final value. Now suppose we have to convert the same fraction to the percentage. What we need to do? Now 4 upon 5. You have to conversion of fraction into percent. So this, how do we convert fraction into percentage? We multiply by 100 and put a percent sign. What you do? You simply multiply by 100 and in all just put a percent sign. Now 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, so 20. 20 into 4 is 80%. So when we are converting fraction into percent, what we do? We multiply the given fraction. We multiply the given fraction by 100 and put a percentage sign also and solve it out. That will be the conversion of fraction into percent. When we are converting percent into fraction, then what happens? Just write that fraction, that percent upon 100 and simply reduce it to the lowest terms. You will get the value in fractions. Now next we will be converting decimals into decimals and vice versa. Now we are converting percent into decimal. So let's take 128%. We have to convert it into decimal. So first of all, we will write it with denominator 100. It means 128% can be written as 128 upon 100. And now it is very easy for anyone to just write it in the decimal form. What it will be? This is, there are two digits. So here it will be 1.28. What we do? We write, if it is given in percentage, first of all convert the given percentage in a fraction with the denominator 100, and when you know the denominator is 100, you can easily place the decimal point and that becomes in decimal part. Now suppose we have to do its vice versa or opposite, means you have to convert the decimal into percent. Suppose I take the same example, 1.28. You have, this is the decimal number given, you have to convert it into the percentage. So what you do? Just multiply it by 100 and place a percentage sign. So this will be 128%. That's all. What we do in decimals? Whatever decimal, suppose I say 9.4673. Now this decimal has to be converted to percent. So what we do? We simply multiply by 100 and put a percentage sign. So this will be, when you multiply 100, this decimal will shift two positions towards right. So that will be 946.73%. Very simple. Whenever you have to convert a decimal into percentage, multiply it by 100 and put a percentage sign like this. And whenever you are converting a percent to decimal, just write the percent with denominator 100 and just convert it to the decimal form. That's it. Now next topic is find quantity A as percentage of quantity B. Suppose I say, what percent is 15 kgs of 90 kg? Means this is quantity A and this is quantity B. You have to find out what quantity A is of quantity B. What percentage of quantity A, that is 15 kg, is of quantity B. Means 15 kgs is how much percent of 90 kg. First thing you remember, we will write them in the form of fractions. Means this can be written as 15 upon 90. Right? Now this has already in the form of fraction. And you have to convert it into percentage. So in the just we have studied, we multiply it by 100 and place a percentage sign. So 15, 6 are 90, 100 upon 3%. So 100 upon, 6%. 100 upon 6 means 2 3s are 50s are. Now 3 1s are 3, 3 6 are 18, 22 upon 3%. Or let's take another, I hope, now what we have done, 15 upon 90, we convert to fraction into 100 and then, so what it is, just solve it out and you will get. Let's take one more question. What is 30, what percentage is 30 minutes of a day? Now, one day has 24 hours. We know it has 24 hours. and 30 minutes means 1.5 hour. So what we will do, 1 upon half, 1 upon 2 or half divided by 24 into 100%. What we have to do in this question, we have to find that what percent is 30 minutes, what percent is 30 minutes of a day. And we know that in a day there are 24 hours, so the question changes to what percent is 30 minutes of 24 hours. We can convert 30 minutes into hours, so that is half an hour. So what percent is half an hour of 24 hours? So half an hour upon 24 into 100, that makes 2 will come to the side. So 1 upon 48 into 100. Now 4 12s are 48, 4 25s are 100 with a percent sign. It means 25 upon 12%. When you solve it, so 25 2s are 24 and 125, 1 upon 12%. So 30 minutes is 2 whole 1 upon 12% of 24 hours. So basic thing that you need to know or that you need to learn is, whenever we are finding quantity of A as a percentage of quantity of B, just write them in a fraction. Whatever has to be found, it will come in the numerator. Whatever is the basic measurement or the original value will come in the denominator. That is A upon B into 100. We'll multiply it by 100 and put a percentage sign. Now next point is percentage change. How do we find the percentage change? Suppose your initial percentage was 80% in previous class, but this time it is 82.5%. Suppose last year, this is about the last year, your percentage and current year. Now you have to find out what was the percentage change. So what is the formula for percentage change? Is change. Change can be either positive or negative, means increase or decrease. So that is why I have written change. Change has two meanings. It can be in positive form, that is increment, or decrease in the from the original value. Either it can be increase in previous value or it can be decrease in the previous value upon original number, and then into 100. Now let's take up with this example. Initially your percentage was 80%. Now it is 82.5. So what is the change? Change in your percentage is 2.5. 82.5 minus 80 is 2.5. So 2.5 is the change. Original, we always compare it by the with the last year's performance. The last year performance has to be considered as the original. So upon 80 into 100 and then put a percent sign. That's it. So now we can solve it out. So this and this 0 and 0 cancel, and 25 upon 8, 25 upon 8%. You can reduce it to the lowest term and then whatever comes. Means this was about the simple formulae that were there. It is about the introduction of the formula. Now we move on to the exercise 7a. Now whichever question we are doing on the board, that you all are supposed to do in your fair notebook. Whichever questions I am doing on the board, you are supposed to do in the fair notebook, in the fair copy, and whatever is left, that you can do in the practice register. So I am taking question number 1. Now question number 1 has 5 parts. I am doing the third part and I will be doing the 5th part. And the question is, write each of the percentage as fraction and decimal. Means the question is given in the form of percentage. In the first one it is 12.5%. You have to write it in decimal form as well as in the fraction form. So when we are writing in a fraction, we know that what we do, simply this number will be, this percent will be written as a number with denominator 100. So simply you can say 12.5 upon 100. Now when you remove this decimal, you can increase one more zero, so it came as 125 upon 1000. Now 25 5s are 125 and 25 40s are. So it becomes 5 1s are 5, 5 8s are 40. 1 upon 8. This is in the part of fraction. And what will be in decimal form? In decimal form, you can simply divide 1.8, so I think it will be 0.125. 0.125 is it in the decimal form, right? Or simply what you can do from here, you can say it is 12.5% can be written as 12.5 upon 100 to convert to fraction, and you remove this decimal, increase 1 0. So when you have to write it in the decimal, it will be 0.125, either this way, or if you want, you can show with the, you can divide it, actually divide it, and then again you will get the same value. So this is how we convert it in the fraction form and the decimal form. Let's take one more question. I am taking the fifth part, that is 33 whole 1 upon 3. Fifth part is 33 whole 1 upon 3%. Since this is in a mixed fraction form, first we will convert it in a fraction form. So 99 and 100 upon 3%. When you write it in the fraction form, it will be 100 upon 3. This is removed and we write the number as a denominator. We write the number as a fraction with denominator 100. So this percentage converted to 100. So now this and this cancelled. You got 1 upon 3 as fraction. This was in the fraction form. Fraction. And now we have to convert it in decimal form. Now decimal form means what we do, first we write it in the fraction form and then you divide it, or 1.33, 1 upon 33 can be written as 0.33 and so on. When you divide, you will get 33.33. Sorry, 33.33%. That is the final value. If you have to write it in the decimal, so if you have any doubt, you can simply divide. Let's say 100 divided by 3. So 3 3s are 9, 1 10, 3 3s are 9, again 10, put a point, remove 3 and 3 and so on. So it is 33.33%. Now the next question, we will move on to the question number 2. Now question number 2 also has 2 parts. Question number 2 has 5 parts. In this, convert each of the following as percentage. So at first I am doing the third part. Third part is 2 whole 2 upon 3. You have to convert into percent. You have to convert into percent form. So this can be written as, first you convert into a fraction, proper fraction. 3 to 6 to 8 upon 3 is the number. Now when we have to convert a fraction into the percent, what we do, we simply multiply it by 100 and put a percent sign. This is what we have learned. Now it is 800 upon 3. Let's see. 800 divided by 3. 3 2s are 6. Now 20. 3 6s are 18. Again 20. 3 6s are 18. Now 2 left. Put a decimal. Increase 1 0. 6 6 and so on. So it will be 266.66%. That is how we solve it. It is a fraction given, you have to convert it into percentage. Similarly, fifth part I am doing. Fifth part is 2.575. Now it is given in the decimal form, and we have just now studied that if we have to convert a decimal number into a percentage, we simply multiply that given decimal by 100. So what you do, multiply it by 100 and put a percent sign. So when you multiply by 100, this decimal will move two places towards the right. So it will become 257.5%. That is the answer. I hope you have understood. So these two questions we have done, and let's see the third one. In the third one, it is already given in the form of ratios. In the third question, the question is given in the form of ratios. You have to convert it into fraction. Let's see, into percent. Let's see question number 3, third part. I am doing one part, that is ratios as percent. 21:40. This is the ratio given, and this has to be converted into a percent. So ratio means a fraction. It means this can be written as 21/40. Now you know how to convert a fraction into percent. Simply multiply it by 100 and put a percentage sign. So what we'll do, multiply by 100 and we'll put a percentage sign to the whole thing. 0 and 0 cancel. 2 5s are 10. 2 2s are 4. 5 1s are 5. 5 2s are 10 upon 2%. If you solve it again, you will get 2 5s are 10. 2 2s are 4.5%. That is the final value. What we did, this was given in ratio, we converted to fraction, and then this fraction has changed into the percent and calculated, and we got the value. Now the next question number 4. Express each of the following percents as ratios. It's again very easy, it's vice versa. So question number 4, I am taking the second part. Question number 4, second part is 16 whole 2 upon 3%, and you have to convert this as a ratio or as a fraction. So you know what we do. First of all, this will be converted into a proper fraction. 16 3s are 48 and 250. So it is 50 upon 3%. Now when we convert it into a fraction, this percentage sign is dropped. So 50 upon 3 into 100. 51s are 52s are 1 upon 6 is the final value. Next question I am taking as question number 7. I'll take 7, 8 and 9, and let's see what is there. Now question number 7 says a metal bar is 2.4 meters long. Length is given 2.4 meters. Then they say after heating its length increases by 2%. Increases by 2%. You have to find out its new length. You have to find out its new length. Now what is the meaning of this? A bar is 2.4 meters long, and after heating it increases by 2% more. So 2% of what? 2% of original length. So what we are going to find? We are going to find the increase in length. That is 2% of what? 2.4 meters. It means 2 upon 100 into 2.4 meters. So that is 4.8 upon 100 meters, or you can say you convert it into decimal, so it will be 0.048 meters, because in the denominator there are two zeros, so this decimal will move towards left two places. So first place is before 4 and there is nothing, so we will place a 0 and then the decimal will move towards, before 0. So that is why it is 0.048 meter. So the new length will be what? New length will be original length plus the increase. Original length was 2.4 meters and plus 0.048 meters. Now when you add them, this will be 2.4 plus 0 is 4 and 4 and 8 meters. That is the final value. Now we move on to question number 8. Now question number 8 reads, price of a pair of shoes rupees 3000. Due to some sale, its price has been reduced by 40%. So you have to find out the price after the reduction. So we'll find out what is the reduced price. So reduced price is 40% of 3000. This 40% has been reduced on the original price, and since the original price is 3000, so reduced price will be 40% of 4000, means 40 upon 100 into 3000, 0 cancel, 0 cancel, 4 3s are 1200 has been reduced. So what is the new price? So new price will be the original price, that was 3000, minus the discount or the reduced price. So that is 10 minus 2 is 8, 2 minus 1 is 1800 rupees is the new price of the shoes. What is the question? Price, initial price was 3000, reduced price is 40%. You have to find the price after reduction. So we found the reduced price first, that was 40% of the original price, that was 3000 rupees. Now we solved it out, we got rupees 1200, and this 1200 has been subtracted from the original price 3000, and we got this is the value of reduced price. Now I hope we have done up to question number 8. Maybe 2 questions are left. Maybe I'll take them in the next class. In case you have any doubt, you can comment. And there are 2 questions I have left, that is question number 5 and 6. I expect you all to do these questions, and in case if you have doubt,